Good morning. I think we're live. I'm going to wait for the live stream to just kick in. But whilst we wait for that, just to say, I hope you're having a really good day. I hope you are enjoying the sun if you're in the UK. Certainly yesterday, sun was lovely. Not sure about what today's going to bring. But anyway, it is time to have a look at the second in-person day of Commsverse, the configuration day. So in a previous video, we looked at the collaboration day, and I will put a link to that in now. Really just looking at the sessions that were available and kind of me going through and talking through the process I used to choose my the kind of sessions that I'm interested in and that I want to go and see, and it might be useful to you. And so I'm going to do the same thing for the second day, the configuration day. So day 2, if you like, of the 2 in-person days. So let's get into it. All right, so a couple of things I need to do first. And then let me share my screen so you can see what I'm seeing. Okay, so these are the 2 days we're talking about. So I've already done the collaboration day in a different video. This one is the configuration day. And just as a reminder, in case you didn't see the other video, this isn't necessarily the things that I'm going to do on the day. What I'm really doing is building up a shortlist. That means that on the day, if I want to go and do a session at a particular time, I've got a shortlist to choose from of good sessions that I know I'm going to be interested in, and I'm not wading through the entire session list trying to make snap decisions in the kind of 2 minutes that you have to choose a session. Also, I'm just going to realize that regardless of what I put into my agenda on the day, I'm going to be much more fluid because this is the first in-person event for a long time. There's going to be people I want to catch up with, things I want to go and see, and so I might not go to as many sessions. That's okay. The agenda that I'm building will serve as my on-demand reminder when I get home or in the evenings to catch session content. So it's still a really good idea to put together a shortlist and make that agenda, even if you're not kind of totally sure how many sessions you're going to attend on the day itself. Okay, so let's get to it. So this is the this is my agenda. Actually, that's no good. This is what I want to show you. This is the session content. So these are all the sessions. So I'm going to filter it by the September the 16th, which is the second day. And there's a whole bunch of different sessions here, and they're grouped into different tracks. So we've got adoption, we've got advanced technology, we've got business voice, we've got devices, productivity, and Teams admin. And so your mileage is going to vary a little bit on the things that you're particularly interested in. So for me, I'm more interested as a Teams developer in the platform, in the back end side of things. I'm less interested, if you like, in things like adoption, and that's not to take away from these sessions here that are on the screen. So, Justin, great guy, ex-Modality, so we've worked together in the past, now at Microsoft, and he's going to have an awful lot of good things to say about Operator Connect. Likewise, David, I don't think I've ever been to any of his sessions, but that looks like a really sort of compelling session as well. Creative internal campaigns. That is something that's really kind of hot at the moment, and I don't see it being done particularly well in lots of places. So I think that would be a really good session to go to if you're really into user adoption. However, for me, my focus is more on the kind of back end side of things. So I'm going to drop down into the advanced technology things kind of straight away and just kind of casting my eye over these. There's a few things that really jump out. The first is Lee's session, talking to customers using web chat. Totally up for that. That sounds like a fun session. All Microsoft technology, a customer-facing website with web chat. Okay, that's going to be interesting. There's a couple of different ways you could do that, so I'm interested to see how where Lee goes with that. And Lee's a good speaker and really, really knows his stuff. So that's a good one. I'm going to pop that in the agenda. Doesn't mean I'm definitely going to attend it. Just means I'm putting it on my shortlist, my interest list, so I make sure I don't forget about it later. So that's a good one. So Yannick is talking about building a Microsoft Teams meeting bingo app. Okay, so this is going to be cool. So this is of interest to me because it's all to do with the in-meeting experience in Microsoft Teams. Again, I've talked about this before. It's always good though to see how somebody else is doing something. So like I've got my experience of building and meeting applications, and I've done those blogs and videos, and you can go and check those out. But I'm kind of interested to see how Yannick is doing it, because different people bring different approaches, and I can pick up some tips. I can pick up some ideas for like the structure of the application, or particular things that he's found, particular gotchas or whatever that I might not yet have found. So this is kind of interesting, and also it's a fun application as well. And this is actually a challenge for lots of technical talks. And I like how kind of Yannick has approached this, because it's kind of boring sometimes to go through if you're like a developer and a tech conference, and you need to kind of get through to people like how to do something. You need to explain concepts and show people stuff. But you need some example to do it. And the application is quite hard. So I think having a kind of fun game like this is a good idea, actually. So because it kind of keeps the interest levels high. So going to pop that on the agenda as well. That looks good. Tom A is talking about contact centers. That's going to be really interesting, actually. Contact centers are a kind of a really big deal at the moment, especially like with everything that's going on, with people being kind of all over the place still, but kind of coming back, and all sorts of reasons, actually. Contact centers are kind of a big deal. I'm kind of interested to know a bit more about contact centers, because I think, it's interesting to kind of see, are there sort of development opportunities there? Are there places where a bit of integration could really help, or something like that? So I'm going to pop that one on the agenda as well, and that might be an on-demand one. Maybe we'll see how it goes. Didn't mean to close that. Let's open that up again. All right. So what else have we got going on here? Let's have a look. We've got data classification. That could be interesting, actually. Data classification is kind of again, it's one of those things that's really popped up recently as a big deal. So I'm just trying to read the abstract as well. I can try and do two things at once. Information types. This is interesting. This is kind of like foundational knowledge that developers in this space should have, because you kind of need to understand the concrete sort of basics, if you like, around, because then somebody will come to you and be like, can you do some development around, information types or whatever it is, or sensitivity labels, and you need to kind of understand that core sort of back end knowledge. So I'm actually going to pop that one on as well. And this is kind of sometimes the problem with me. I end up with every session on, but we'll see. All right, let's just have a look around here and see. Obviously, I'm going to ignore my one. I'm going to be there, don't worry. But yeah, XR smart glasses with Microsoft Teams. What's this? I don't think I've even heard of XR devices or smart glasses. Integrating devices. It's an interesting integration exercise, actually. So I wonder. So I think maybe this could be a vendor session, which is not a bad thing at all. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to understand like what I'm looking at here. Like, these smart glasses, they maybe come from Simply Video. Let's have a quick look about Simply Video. We haven't got anything here. We've got stock image. Okay, so call out to vendors to make sure your vendor page is up to date, because this is not helpful, but never mind. Okay, so I'm going to maybe add this in as a maybe. We'll come back. And Bill Ayres is talking about extending Teams developer tail. This is good. So Bill, I think I talked about Bill a little bit in the last session, because he was doing a session on the first day as well. I can't remember if that's true or not. But this is good. So Bill has come from kind of the SharePoint world. So he's done tons of development in the past and customization in the past on SharePoint, brought that over to Teams, lots and lots of experience. So interested to go and see his session and probably catch up with him as well. So that should be good. All right, let's move on to Business Voice. Business Voice I care less about, if I'm being brutally honest, in the nicest possible way, unless there's obvious integration points that jump out at me for development or anything like that. So I'm just going to kind of scan over these. But this is a track that I'm sort of possibly less interested in, if you like, than some of the some of the other stuff, some of the more the things up here, like the kind of what's been put into the advanced technology track. So there's some things on licensing, there's some scale stuff, there's some migration stuff. This could be an interesting session, actually. So EY's global journey, so EY being a massive organisation, and I'm actually going to think about popping that one on the list, just because it's not something I'm technically interested in particularly, although what I am interested in really is how a organisation of EY's scale, so by the session abstract here, 300,000 users, how they've migrated that many users to Teams Cloud Voice over a period of 18 months. I think that's quite interesting, actually, with everything that's been going on sort of over the past 18 months. I imagine, my guess is that they have migrated people a lot faster than they would be comfortable with normally. So interested to understand how that's gone. We've got some interesting things about native Teams integration. So I'm just going to drop into this and see if it's anything for developers here. We break through the noise of what true native Teams integration actually means and how Opto for Teams is the key to unlocking for your Microsoft environment. Okay, so this is a vendor session, I would guess. Possibly interesting. It looks like communication silos. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Like, there's not really enough, again, call out to vendors to make sure their session abstract is complete. There's probably not enough in here to kind of will me into watching this, I don't think. Okay, let's have a look. What else have we got? Some things on compliance recording. Eric's session. I'm going to be completely lost in this. This is like way outside my comfort zone. And I'm going to like not be able to keep up with everything that goes on here. However, I kind of want to hear Eric speak again because he's a great speaker and he's a great demoer. He's a great lab enthusiast. So I'm kind of keen to see what he's got up his sleeve. So I'm kind of pop that one in, and it's more because I want to see Eric than I feel like I can keep up with the session. Like, I feel like I should be able to keep up with the session, but I'm not sure I will. There's a lot of like back-end IT pro expertise that's going to be in this, I think, that might lose me slightly, but that's okay. That's the point of going to conferences, right? You learn new things, you learn new stuff, you step outside your comfort zone. So that's one of those for me. So that's why I'm going to go to that session. We've got some things on devices. This is interesting. I'm not super, again, if devices is one of those areas I'm not like super proficient in and not massively kind of interested in, I guess. But there's some really good sessions here, some good speakers actually as well. So managing Teams Android devices, MTRs on Windows and Android, what's the difference? That's interesting. MTRs have come up again and again actually for possible integration. So this might be interesting actually, but also like Adam's a good speaker, so it'll be interesting anyway. Interesting. So let's pop it on. We can always come back to it later. Productivity things. Goodness me, there's so many good sessions here, aren't there? I'm going to skip over productivity just because it's not like a core, thing for me right now. Again, like I said at the top, more interested in the kind of the sort of development side, the kind of back end side of things. Ben's doing a session on approaching the MS700. I'm not smart enough to approach the MS700, so I'm going to ignore that. We've got 10 challenges. It just keeps getting worse. And this could be interesting. So Alex is a developer, even though he'll tell you he's not. Well, sometimes, but he's super into the Graph API, super into PowerShell, super into Power Automate, and all those things. So he's definitely got the development chops, and this will be a good session, I think. I think there's probably things that I could pick up from here as well. Like, this is a really good. This looks like a really good session around taking what you need to do as an IT pro and automating it, and that by the title, that's what it is. So that seems like something I'd be interested in. Because it's not just development, right? If you look at sort of things I'm interested in, it's not just straight down the line teams development, it's all the things on the side, and that includes kind of automation of tasks, includes making people's day jobs easier by kind of taking away the things they do every day. All right. What else have we got going on? Avoiding headaches, automating phone. Again, this is a thing. This automation thing feels like I should kind of understand how this is happening. Somebody needs to fix Starley's name rendering. His umlaut, that doesn't sound right. I don't think it is the kind of character on top of the A in his name. Anyway, yeah, this could be interesting because I'm not entirely sure how you do this. So I'm going to pop that in and try and maybe learn. And then some other things. Doing another session on custom reporting, which again I care sort of less about. So yeah. All right. So what does that look like for me? So this is my agenda. I can filter it by the Thursday. And immediately you'll look at this and there's loads of overlap. So you can kind of see I've got a whole load of things across the advanced technology track, enough to keep me busy all day by the look of it. And then there's some other things happening in some of the other sessions. But that's okay. Like I say, the point here isn't to fill up the day because there's going to be lots and lots of other things to do on the day and lots of people to talk to. And if that's one, by the way, if you are one of the people coming to Comsverse, please come and say hello. It's been 18 months. I'd quite like to talk to people. So yes, come and say hello. No, the point is not to fill up the day with sessions. The point is to create a short list of things that I might be interested in and things that I might want to go and see, either during the day or after the fact. Because one of the great things about this Comsverse is that all the sessions are going to be recorded, available on demand, so you're not going to miss out if you don't get to the session on the day because you're catching up with people. I would say use the time to catch up with people, use the time to go and talk to vendors, even more so than normal. A lot of vendors have been iterating and doing amazing things in the past 18 months when we haven't been paying attention. So go and talk to them and find out what they're doing, because it is quite interesting. But also talk to your peers, trade war stories with what's been going on in the world and what's been going on in your world, the organizations you've been looking after in your own organization. And yeah, obviously the sessions as well. Don't forget the sessions, but the sessions is not everything, and that's never been more so, I think, than at this conference. All right, so that is my agenda for Thursday. It kind of complements my agenda for Wednesday, which I did in the other video. I feel like now I'm in a pretty good place. So I know the stuff that I'm interested in at Comsverse. I know that there's going to be things I'm going to want to see and go and attend. I'll go through this again and kind of highlight the core, like must-see ones, so that if I can get to them on the day in person, and then the others I can do on demand. But for me, this is a useful preparation step in going to a conference, and hopefully it's been useful for you as well. You obviously don't have to do the same sessions that I'm doing. Your criteria will be different. Just that approach for me works quite well. Just kind of trying to narrow down the sessions into a shortlist before you go, for me really helps kind of bubble up the interesting things. And like I say, your mileage will vary, and that's fine. You don't have to do what I'm doing, but I thought it'd be useful so you could see the process that I go through. Okay, so we're nearly there. Comsverse is next week. If I can, I'm going to try and do a know before you go video, but I am aware I'm going to have to get that out pretty quickly because time is running out on us. But yes, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be talking on the Thursday. So come and say hello. Remember, if I don't get a chance to do a know before you go, the biggest thing to remember is about needing a negative test result. So make sure you've got those tests with you. Make sure you're able to produce a negative test result within 48 hours. Check the website, the Comsverse website, for more information on all of that. And yeah, pack everything. Don't forget the toothbrush, and I will see you at Comsverse next week. Very excited. All right, have a good one, and see you next week.